Shane Richie is right here, and not only was he one of last year's I'm a Celeb campmates, he's also good pals with Adam Woodyatt, are you not? Who went in the castle last night. Did you tell him to do it, or did you give him any hint?
Are we live now?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were rehearsing. I was watching
you.
You
rehearse.
I know you don't.
Are you mad?
Yeah. So anyway, good morning, everybody. How you doing? Yeah. I thought you were rehearsing.
We don't rehearse.
Well, no, I should know that you don't rehearse now. The amount of times I watched
so
it. No, yeah. So I was watching the adverts. Next week we're chatting away about it. So we're live.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are live. Yeah. So Adam, right?
Yes, Adam.
So I watched him last night go into the castle, and a few weeks ago we were chatting just before he went into isolation, and he said to me, "This is what he said. He said, Shane, I'm going to the castle." I said, "No, you are." He said, "What's the shrubbery like?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "The shrubbery around the castle." I said, "Why? What you got in mind?" He said, "Well, I'm thinking if I gather up as many nettles as possible, I can make a cup of tea." Now, what I had to tell him, when I went into the castle last year, I did exactly the same. I had this notion in my head, because it was the first time in the castle. So I remember getting in there and wandering around on my own, just pulling up little plants and go, smelling it, go, yeah, and then looking for nettles. And I got this whole armful of nettles, and I'm about to walk back into the castle where Giovanna's got a kettle boiling, and I got called to the telegraph room. Right, Mr. Richie, can you sit down? What are you doing? And I've got all these nettles. So nothing. Why? They said, "No, really, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm hoping to make a cup of tea out of nettles." Went, "Put them back." Then why? They've all been sprayed with insecticide. Oh. So I had to warn.
He can't.
No, so he knows not to do that.
He mustn't.
But also, what I try to remind him about, it's like when we had no idea of time in there.
Yeah.
See, because what you got to remember, like Ant and Dec, we knew that the show finished about 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
Or 10:15. So when Ant and Dec walked into the castle, we knew it was live.
Okay.
So in our head, we was about 10 to 10.
Okay.
So when you get asked to do the trial, and I did quite a few of the trials, as you well know.
Yes.
And then, you'd go off, do the trial, and the trial would finish about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Then you'd come back, wait around for about an hour. So about 2:30, the food would arrive. So you wouldn't actually eat till about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
How strange.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I said to Adam, Adam, you're going to constantly feel like you've got jet lag.
Yes.
So start getting used to going to bed about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Good advice, good advice. Yeah. You also convinced Arlene as well to go in, or you talked to her about it too, yeah?
I did, and I'm partially responsible. I was doing, everybody's talking about Jamie,
yes,
we was in Birmingham, and every time, if I'm around the country and I know Arlene's choreographing someone, because I worked with Arlene when I did Grease back in '93. So I sat down with them, we're sitting in the stalls, and normally when somebody asks me about the castle, it's the general public, so she started asking me about the castle. What was it like? Is it cold? Do you get to eat? What's the sleep in there? And I just went, "Arlene, have you been asked to do it?" And she had this glaze come over her eyes. I don't know if it was like surgery, but no, I'm joking, Arlene. But I said, "Have you been asked to do it?" And she said, "I might have been." And I said, "Well, if you do it, this is what you need to remember." And I kind of gave her some advice. And then a week later, it was announced
there she was.
Going in.
What's the best bit of advice you would give, though, to anybody that's doing it?
Oh, just enjoy it.
Right.
Enjoy it. And sadly, you know, like Richard's now gone.
I know,
and it's going to change the dynamics.
It is.
But what was interesting, because we were the first ones to go into the castle, and I think ITV were very clever, because I think the whole of the UK was in a different headspace.
Totally.
We were in lockdown, nobody was seeing loved ones, friends and family, there was no cinema, bars, theatres. And so having us 10, 12 together, people wanted to see people get on.
Totally.
And I think we've since changed now and gone back to the Australian mentality, even though it's in the castle.
Yeah, I agree with you, actually, because that was a very special one last year. I don't think there'll be anything like that again. No. It was actually really good to... There was camaraderie there, for sure.
And there still is. Like, we was all on WhatsApp groups Sunday when they did the first...
They're all going to be coming to see you in your panto.
Yes, they are. I've gone
yes, they are.
Dragged to Dick Whittington in 5 days.
I know. Yeah. How's it going? Is it good fun?
You know, it's the panto we should have done when I came out of the castle last year, Lorraine.
Oh, right.
Like, in New Wimbledon Theatre, Dick Whittington, we open next Saturday. And the thrill of just getting back on stage, because it's one of the very few genres where the whole family can come.
Of course.
From 4-year-old, there I am, from 4-year-olds to 84-year-olds. So I'm just writing gags at the moment, and we've managed to get, like, Squid Games into panto.
Right, good.
Yeah, obviously references to I'm a Celebrity, and So we're just writing a lot of gags, and from here I go straight back to rehearsal.
But that's the joy of pantomime, isn't it? Something happens that morning, and you can put it in the show that afternoon or that evening.
Those that have followed my panto career over the years, no two shows are the same.
But that's fantastic,
and that's what I love about, and the audience are a big part of the show.
Of course.
And Michael Harrison, who of course does the panto in the Palladium, he produces my one as well. So it's very special. It's a spectacle.
And don't you think people are now really beginning to realise finally just how good panto is? Because you know how before there used to be just a little bit of a snarky attitude. I was talking about that with Leslie Joseph yesterday, but it's different now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it, the first one I did was in the 80s with Terry Scott. When I was,
for goodness sake, Terry and June.
Yeah, do you remember?
Of course
Right,
I do.
for those viewers, press your red button now if you don't know who it is. Yeah, that was back in the 80s. I did that, and it's over the years. But, the thing about panto, the hard part is making it look easy.
Yes.
Once you make it look easy, anyone thinks they can do it. And over the years, I've seen certain people from certain TV shows, Big Brother, go on and do Love Island, do these shows. Useless. Big Brother, Love Island. Okay? And
no, you're right. And they don't have the endurance.
They don't. 2 shows a day.
They can't hack it. Because you have to be really on your game.
That's right.
You really do.
And all my kids love it. And they've, my 5 children. That's what I've got, because I've had 5 kids now. You can probably tell by my body now. My eldest one, Shane Jr., was only 8 when he did his first one. Then Jake was 10. And now Mackenzie did his first one when he was 10. Lolita, who's now 13, did her first one when she was 8. And Romany, my youngest daughter, who's 10, did her first one when she was 5.
Gosh.
So they've all done it with me. Yes, and that's part of it. It's the family thing.
Yeah, no, very much so. Like, families come to see it, and there's families on the stage as well.
Yeah,
which is amazing. It really is incredible. And how do you think Adam's going to do in the I'm a Celebi whole thing?
Oh,
do you think he's going to be all right?
Right, I've known Adam best part of 30 years.
Okay.
Right? He was my mentor when I went into EastEnders. Yes. Everyone has a mentor. And I knew him when he first went in 1907 into EastEnders. But the thing is, I love his sense of humour.
Right.
Now, if you don't get it, it can be sometimes dry, but what he is, he's very focused. I mean, he's had his own gin, he's an incredible photographer, he's done, his cooking skills are incredible.
Oh.
And now he's got a motorhome, he's 100% into his motorhome.
Right.
So when he gets passionate about something, he'll take it to the limit 100%. And sometimes it can kind of, wear you down a little bit. Right. But he can be very funny. He's a great team player, as he was in the EastEnders. Yeah. And he'll always have your back. And he's very honest. He's a very honest guy.
He sounds like, I think he'll do really well.
I think he'll do really well.
He'll be great.
And I should be voting, because I know he was responsible for a lot of the trials that I had to do last year.
Oh, okay.
He was on social media saying, get Shane to do this, get Shane.
So you're going to do the same?
Oh, damn right.
Okay.
He's having it. He's
Sounds
having
good.
it, yeah.
Well, look, Dick Whittington, as you said, it opens New Wimbledon Theatre.
Next Saturday.
Saturday, runs all the way through till the 2nd of January.
Yes, thank you,
have a great time doing it.
Thanks,
and
Lorraine.
Terrific Christmas.
Bless
Always
you
a joy.
too, sweetheart.
Always a
Take
joy
care.
to see you. Right, Dr.